This is hops, which is a main component of beer. The craft brewing industry is exploding, so we were looking at just the possibility of starting to expand hops growth here. We know it grows well here. We have people in town that are growing them, some other small little plots that are growing. But we wanted to do just sort of a pilot study of varieties. So we have 5 different varieties, 2 plants of each variety here. This is the first year these are grown. So we started in the greenhouse and brought them out to the field in May. Didn't know if they were going to produce. Usually they might not produce the first year. It's not always a guarantee. But they're doing fine. We've got 2 varieties that are kind of home runs of all of them, called the Cascade variety, and those are very desirable by microbrews. So we'll watch and see what it does this year. We'll take some yield data at the very end of the season, and then next year they'll come back again next year. So we'll keep track of them next year and see what happens. We might expand the study a little bit next year as well. So we're looking at doing a study with 10 different varieties, 20 plants of each variety at 2 different locations, and just given people who might want to produce out here, especially a little bit on the larger side of things, not necessarily backyard, although we will be doing some work with that. So yeah, 10 different varieties in that study, and doing a little bit more data collection, growth rates and things like that as well. So we're doing drip irrigation here. We've got 2 gallon per hour emitters that do 30 minutes a day. So they get irrigated every day. Right now in July they need a little bit more because of the heat and things like that. So yeah, typically drip irrigation is the way they irrigate these. Although I don't think it would be abnormal to do it with furrow irrigation like we see all the other crops done around here. So, but typically hop yards do some kind of micro irrigation. So. Yeah, so this is called a trellis system. This is basically 16-foot poles put 3 foot in the ground, so 13 feet high. And that's the shorter end of trellis systems. Typically 16, 18 feet is a little bit better. And you can see the cascades are already at the top. So yeah, is pretty cheap construction. 2 poles, high tensile wire. There's some ground anchors at each end. That's about it. This rope here is made from, I believe it's coconut husk fibers, and it's really strong, and that's just anchored to the ground. The plants are trained up the ropes, and they do the rest. Once you train them at the bottom, they do the rest. So at the end of the season we'll come in and we'll just cut from the top down to about a foot above the ground, and then we'll harvest them off and get some data from that. So, and you can see some of the leaves at the bottom of the plants have some decay on them, and that's from the wind. We're a little bit protected in this area, but yeah, so there is some wind problem, and that'll be one thing that when we do the bigger variety trial, we'll try to put them in a place that's not going to be 100% protected to give a real view of growth. But there were several days I came out here and it was plenty windy on the hops, so they made it through, and they're doing fine. They're a pretty hardy plant. So the only trick here is figuring out the irrigation. If there's any problems in the line, you'll see that really fast. So that's been the only other thing that I've had to kind of deal with over the course of the season. Other than that, if you train them the right way, we train them clockwise. Train them the right way, they do the rest. So yeah, this is kind of a co-project with Northwest College, which is in town, and then the UW Experiment Station. So they allowed me to put this out here in coordination with them, and they gave me the space and kind of keep track of weeds and stuff around here. So it's a joint project with us, and we have students that also go to the college that study agriculture that come out here and work as well. And we'll use this as a learning experience for our students in the fall.